always hot.
I'm always hot, and it was so cold when I first came down here. I'm like, it's cold, but now it's hot. Look at your hair.
It's so bright.
We're gonna have to, I think comments are on.
Yeah, comments on. Nobody's on yet. Where are you guys at?
It's like, oh Lord, it's hot. You're not hot?
No,
but I'm hot.
You're always hot.
I haven't even really started drinking that much. Hey guys, what are y'all doing?
Hello.
I haven't even been drinking that much.
You're always hot.
Hey everybody, gather round. Fix yourselves a drink. Can you swipe the comments? Look at Mimi's hair, y'all.
Hey guys. Oh, sorry.
Oh, that ass almost knocked everything over.
Sorry. Whoopsie.
Jesus, why isn't?
Okay.
I can't find my video
Lord.
on my live feed, and I'm so hot.
You're always hot now.
Oh, here we go.
Whoops. There we go.
I'm kind of drunk already.
How are you drunk already?
I only had 2 glasses of wine because I probably haven't even eaten that much. But look at Mimi's hair, everybody. Isn't she beautiful? Look what she did. She cut all her hair off.
Not all of it, just the back.
Thumbs up if you like it. Like, do you guys like Mimi's haircut? Usually they say
color and cut.
It's the new man.
No, I was planning on coloring it anyway, but you know. Just saying.
How was your Halloween?
It was fun. I missed you at the party.
I know. I'm sorry. His company's thing was the same night. We thought that we were gonna be able to make it out of there.
It was fun though. It was so much fun. And like people had really great costumes. People really got into it. It was nice. It was like just it was what I wanted and what I needed. Like I needed a Halloween party with people like dressed up in costumes.
I really wanted to go. Like I've never been to a Halloween adult party.
Like the whole place was decorated and it had like you walked in and there's somebody who was like the elevator person that took you up to the floor and there was like coffins and rickety looking chandeliers and fake cobwebs. It was great. They did a great job. It was really wonderful.
Oh man, I can't do that.
Can't do what?
So what were you for Halloween?
I was Morticia Adams and my booski was Gomez and we looked adorable. Everybody knew what we were since they looked at us.
I'm so goddamn hot.
Why are you hot?
I'm just hot.
You need to just get a fan in here.
I'm just hot.
You just need a fan in here.
All of a sudden I'm so hot. I was fine earlier.
Is it because you're going through the change?
I don't know what it is. I'm just so hot all of a sudden.
Aww.
Jesus.
Where you guys at?
Maybe I should stop drinking. There's enough people on here.
What does Valos Virgo mean?
What?
This person keeps saying it over and over again.
Saying what?
I don't know. It's another language.
So what are we talking about tonight?
So we got some stuff to cover. Tank made some controversial statements.
Are we gonna start off with Tank?
Did you? Well, we just covered Halloween. Or
We didn't. We didn't even talk about
Halloween costumes. What'd you guys do for Halloween? Which was yesterday, but most grown-up stuff was done on the weekend. So what'd you guys do for Halloween? Anything fun? Who went to what parties? And what costumes were like the most popular? I know like a lot of people were doing like the new Joker look from the Joker movie. I haven't seen it yet. Did you see it?
No, I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it yet. I know I'm slipping,
but you were talking about why black folk don't go to certain parties. You know,
so a friend of mine she was looking for something to do for Halloween, and I told her about the Halloween party that we were planning to go to, and then like she was complaining because all of her friends like they never want to dress up. Their idea of a Halloween party is to go to a nightclub where no one else is dressed up, or go to a friend's house and just sit and drink in the house. Like they're not trying to go out, be in costume and do fun stuff like that. If you go down to like Federal Hill and Fells Point, like it's just an abundance of costumes everywhere.
Well, for one, there's people worried about they're going to get shot if they go out, and you worry about how our city can be, and you have people walking around with masks. I don't think sometimes that's appealing to a lot of people.
I mean,
when you're of a different complexion, sometimes you have those freedoms of being able to walk about spaces and not feel you know, a certain way depending upon where you're going.
I mean, I get that, but that can happen literally any night of the week in Baltimore.
This is true.
Like, you can literally have something horrible happen at a nightclub anytime in Baltimore. Like, Halloween does not make it an extra atrocious night.
Well, I don't think Black people don't like to have too much fun sometimes.
Why? Why do you think
I don't know. We judge everything.
Like, it's
hard for us to let loose.
It is, and like you said, they judge everything, but I definitely feel like when I was growing up, there was always, you know, one group of Black kids kind of pitted against this one isolated Black kid who just happens to like different stuff, whether it was rock music, anime, you know, if they were into kind of artsy stuff or skateboarding. Like, you got picked on because you didn't like hip-hop, because you didn't wear the right clothes, and you didn't speak the vernacular.
But I don't think that happens in just our communities. There's kids who get bullied every day for that shit.
There are, but it just seems like super...
But we do that because I experienced that. Coming from California, coming from San Diego, into a place like Baltimore, you speak different, you look different. We can't trust you. Yeah, so I get it.
I don't understand why it feels like Black folk don't want to have fun or even try to have a different experience of fun. And I have to admit, like, and I'm pretty sure you see it on your campus, where, like, you take a Black kid who's only known, like, their Black neighborhood and only their Black friends, and then you plug them into an environment where everything's different, and that's why they end up dating interracially.
I don't have that.
You don't have that at your campus? Are you serious?
Because I work in international health, so it's more international students, and especially for them to be at Hopkins, they're absolutely privileged.
You're right.
And it's definitely a different type of
atmosphere there. Well, it's Towson. That happens a lot. Like, the Black guys coming in, they're on the football team, they're on the basketball team, and it takes them like...
Somebody said the big bone Pam and Gina. That was funny.
My forehead that big.
That was funny.
It's pretty funny.
Jamar said it's a titty party. You keep it up, Jamar. You can really be Black from the beginning.
Bruh.
We love blocking people.
Thank you for stating the obvious. Yeah, we got titties. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Moving on. No, I'm not gonna stand up and turn around. I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, like the Black guys end up dating like literally everybody under the sun because they've never seen or experienced anybody different than what they've grown up with. And it's good in the sense that they get to have the experience of seeing new people and being able to partake in like these different activities. I know like so many kids who the first time they're experiencing the game of cornhole is when they get to a white campus. And they're like, what the hell is a cornhole? And it's just this game where you toss like a beanbag through a hole. Like, what? But, you know, it's fun. Playing frisbee and taking like trash can lids and sliding down grass hills.
Because what? Is that my phone making all that noise?
It's your phone.
I need to put it on vibrate. I don't know how to work this phone.
You always have a problem with your phone.
Because this is an old phone. I don't know how to work it. I'm just a glowing today. I don't know, but I still have my tan. I am still so incredibly tan.
It's not fair.
I can't believe it. I'm just glowing. That's me drinking my water and minding my fucking business. Y'all should try it.
Jamar says, why am I get blocked for saying the real, why have your boobs out if I can't talk about them? I'm lost. Because they're not out for you.
And first of all, everybody else on this feed, which is a lot of men, know how to leave a compliment, know how to hit the like button and keep it moving. No one else has to get vulgar because they are grown-ass adults. There's no need for it. Every thought does not need to be said. We're goddamn adults. You probably are over 40.
Do better.
Do better. You can think it all you want, doesn't mean you have to say it. Jesus. I believe that men who act like that aren't used to attractive women, so you don't know how to have self-control.
And it's little dick energy.
And it kind of feels like you don't get pussy. Because the men I know and the grown-ass men I know don't do that type of shit.
Facts.
All right.
Moving on. Okay. So, are we tired of skimpy Halloween costumes? Is that a tired trope? Or is that
I mean,
I like them.
Women got so much shit. Women get so much shit every year. Then there's a stupid ass meme. Wife her if she didn't go to a Halloween party.
Why is that a thing? Like, and this kind of goes back to the whole like Black folk can't have fun. Like, Why can't she go to a Halloween party?
No, you don't have to say anything how we want you to say it. We just want you to be respectful. Enjoy the feed. Be respectful. That's it. Don't be an asshole. It's not cute. It's not attractive. Jesus. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Like the whole notion of if your girl went out on Halloween and she wore like a cute little Halloween sexy costume, like somehow this doesn't make her wife material.
Right.
What the fuck is wife material? I don't know. I've never been married. Things I want.
I'm married.
What makes you wife material?
Nothing makes you wife material.
I didn't think so.
And there's a lot of women who pretend and fake, thinking that that's going to get them picked, and it still doesn't get them chosen. I can't stand a pick-me woman. I just can't stand it.
I just don't understand the need for people to conform to somebody's mystery ideal.
Right.
Like, what works for you works for you. And if it doesn't, that's fine. Move on. Find someone that likes you the way you like them. And
because how just outlandish the post was. What was even more ridiculous was the amount of women on there. I didn't go out. I don't go out. Where's my ring? Give me my ring. I don't like Halloween parties. Like, what the fuck?
How do you not like Halloween parties? Like, I get it. If you don't want to dress up, fine. If it's not for you, that's fine. But, like, Halloween parties are literally just so you can be a big kid. That's it.
Right.
That's it. Like, we lost touch with our creativity and imagination. Like, I love being a big kid.
You love being a big kid?
I love it. I still freaking watch cartoons. So.
I think we've hurt Jamal's feelings.
Let me play the world's smallest violin real quick. Can you hear it?
Shout out to the Ravens. You see I have my purple lips, my purple dress, because it's Ravens Purple Friday.
It's pink. It's pink everything.
But it's close.
It's close. It's a shade of purple.
You're
It's a shade of purple. It's a shade of purple.
Very Pat Benatar-ish.
A little bit, yeah.
Kenny, you like married women.
Well, congratulations. Awesome. Okay.
That was another topic that was like kind of hot on Facebook this week. What? The fact what is a provider, first of all?
Oh, let's talk about these roles.
What is a provider? Should men provide, pay all the bills? Should it go 50-50? If women who have men who pay all the bills and don't work, they're lazy. And also a lot of people made the point that being a provider is not necessarily monetary. And I made the argument that there's a lot of men who provide just dick, and I wouldn't call them a provider.
Facts. I mean, I'm in two minds about this. Because in my view, like, the notion of these traditional roles is outdated. It's unnecessary. It doesn't apply to everybody. But the provider role can have so many different meanings.
But women can be a provider.
Women can be providers.
Because if the man is staying home, because I've heard of men staying home, taking care of the kids,
and
doing the
maybe
cooking
they're
and the
better
cleaning.
at it. They might be
But that doesn't make them a provider. So if it's not monetary, yes, as a provider, you should be doing a wide range of things. But in my definition, a provider is strictly monetary.
Why?
Because it is. When you think of a provider, you're providing a way of life for your family.
But that way of life has many layers. It's not just monetary, right?
And the general sense of the word provider is mostly used for someone who is
But where does that connotation come from?
Because you're providing food.
Where does that connotation come from?
Because it's fact. You're providing food. You're providing shelter.
You're providing a home atmosphere.
Again, if somebody's providing
support.
if somebody's providing you dick, or even if somebody's providing you emotional support, you're still not going to call him a provider. Most of American is not going to call that type of man a provider.
But where do we get the notion of what this provider is from?
Because it's your definition, and my definition of provider.
We get this idea of this role of the provider for the man. We get it from religion. You know that's where it comes from.
No. I don't get the role as a provider from religion.
I mean, society does.
In some instance, but I think that goes into a lot of other stuff, like head of the household, and he does this, and gender roles, because women can also be providers. I'm just strictly speaking in the true definition of a provider, because women can be providers. There's women who are providers for their houses, and men stay home.
Yes.
So I don't look at it in the religion aspect.
And that's fine if you don't look at it in the religion aspect, but it doesn't change the fact that religion has influenced society in these views of traditional gender roles. And one of those gender roles is
Cheyenne says she loves your hair.
Thank you, Cheyenne. Thank you. Religion has put men into this perspective of to be the provider is part of their gender identity, which isn't right. It's not right in my view, and it's archaic and it's unnecessary. Because yes, you can be monetarily supporting everything in the household, and this would, by default put you in a provider role, but somebody like the president, Donald Trump, is, he paid everything, but he was a shitty provider because he wasn't there for his kids. He's a horrible person.
There's people who are
horrible father.
But again, there's a distinction. You can be a provider and still not give the emotional support. That's why I don't lump it all into one. My strict definition of a provider is just financial. He's providing
I get that
because I get emotional support from my friends. There aren't providers. You have all types of different dynamics from different people. You wouldn't categorize them as a provider. So I just think it's just financial. So if a man pays the bills, he's a provider. Should women pay 50-50? Or should a man pay all the bills?
I don't think anyone should pay 50-50 if you're not both making the same amount of money. How can you split everything 50-50 if you're not pulling the same amount of money?
I think it's also subjective because, I think it's whatever works with someone's household. But I think it does have to be fair. Like, what if he or even she, because there's no double standard, it goes for you two ladies. What if even she is making more than what he makes? Should she cover more of the bills?
Yes.
Why should it be a double standard?
It's not a double standard. In my view, it's not, because in my perspective, the person that earns more is going to end up paying a little bit more. You can't split it down the middle 50-50, because if the total of your bills exceed one partner's income, then you can't do a 50-50 split.
Tommy is watching us from Melbourne, Australia. Shout out,
wow,
Tommy. And he said he loves the Ravens.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah, we're going to kick ass Patriots on Sunday. I can't wait.
Foster's Australian for beer.
I think it's basically whatever works for somebody's relationship.
Agreed. Like, whatever works for you is what you should do. I don't think anyone needs to follow some weird, outdated ideology that may not apply to you in a relationship.
It was like the counter. It was like the opposite, because a lot of women were calling other women who, especially homemakers who stay home and take care of the kids, lazy.
First off, pause.
That is hardest.
I don't even have kids, but staying at home and watching kids and then trying to clean house.
It is the hardest job in the world. I did that until my kids went to school. I did it until both of my kids went to school, and it is
exhausting.
You don't have a time. I don't clock out for lunch. No. I don't get a lunch break. At 5 o'clock, I don't get to clock out and go home and not be bothered.
Yeah, you don't get no break.
And sometimes your husband thinks because you're home all day
that you're not doing anything.
No, that when I come, because I've worked and I've actually gone out and done something physical. I've worked harder than you, so I'm just going to come home and relax.
No.
Thank God I didn't have that, though. He's always been very supportive and a hands-on dad, but being a house wife is not an easy job. Being a stay-at-home mom is not an easy job. It's 24/7. The highlight of my day was going to Walmart and to the gym just so I can put the kids in daycare for an hour, the free daycare. You
get some time to yourself.
So I can get some time to myself working out.
That's what I hear all the time, especially from my friends who have kids. It's getting that break from mommy duties, and you don't get a break, especially with little ones.
No, you don't.
There's no break whatsoever. You sleep when they sleep, and when they're awake, you have to be awake. Plain and simple.
Not nice as you need to catch up because you don't have kids.
What? Why do I need to catch up? I gotta have kids.
You don't want to do I'd have so much money if I didn't have kids. Thank God.
How
my kids have grown, but they are still in my pockets.
Why do I need to I don't need to have children to feel fulfilled as a woman. What kind of... Moving on.
So, you live with your...
Yes, we live
your
together.
boyfriend.
We live together.
Does he pay all the bills? Do you split it 50-50?
We split it. It's not 50-50, but we split it.
Okay.
Yeah. But it works.
It works.
Our relationship works really well. He's watching. Hi, baby.
Some men say that women have no right demanding that.
Have no right demanding what?
Demanding because there's lots of women who feel like that's their right. I mean, that's the type of man.
If that's what they want.
And because there's men that are very into that role. That matters.
And as you had said on that post, there are some men who take pride in being able to do that. And again, if that works for them, more power to them. I've never met any man that openly is like, I want to pay my bills and her bills. I've never met.
Because let's be real, that type of shit honestly should only be happening, I feel, in a marriage.
Agreed.
I feel like it's a little bit like, if he does it, great, but I think it's a little bit much for someone to expect it. But shout out to Mecca. She says she has that type of relationship and she's not married.
And happy birthday, Mecca. Her birthday.
That's right. Happy birthday, bro. This is some good ass wine.
Mm-hmm.
At first, I had tasted it a little vinegarish to me. I don't know if the bottle is old.
No, I don't taste any vinegar.
Damn, we killed that. So we're gonna move on to Tito's.
I'm not there yet. I might not get there, but we'll see. Tank statement now. Hello from Little Rock. Thank you, Kevin.
So what did Tank say? I don't even know what he said.
So Tank did an interview, and I've never seen the whole interview. I just saw the clip that everyone was talking about. Mm-hmm. Tank made a statement that, and I might get this wrong, but I'm going to do my best. Tank's statement was, if a man has an experience of oral sex with another man.
2 times, right?
2 times. Like the first time, somehow it's like a accident, like you were drunk or high, or you weren't aware of what you were doing.
You go back a second time.
You go back a second time to see if you really are into it. That because you've only done it twice and it was sort of an experimental, then this does not make you gay.
Can you guys share this video for me, please? Thank you.
So the question is he right or is he wrong? What do you think?
In order to even have, like, you just don't accidentally for the first time slip a dick just falls in your mouth. That never accidentally happens. Mm-hmm. It's never accidentally happened to me. I've never been, whoops, there's your dick. Well,
I think the
whoops, what's
question
the dick doing there?
Is it that he's sucking dick or he's getting his dick
It doesn't matter. And this is someone who I've
like what?
I might have tasted a vagina or 2.
We're pearl diving. Swimming for the pearls. A little bit.
And that shit, you always have to have that feeling. It just doesn't accidentally happen. Would I call myself gay? No, I absolutely wouldn't.
Hold up. Can you block people during the feed?
Yeah, who's what?
De Silva. Nah, we're not doing that, Mr. De Silva.
What did De Silva say? I can't see his comment.
He said, show your pussy.
Where's he at?
Right there.
Bye. He's gone. So, what was I saying? Do I think I'm gay? No.
Okay.
So, why do we have this double standard for men?
Why do we have this double standard for men? Because somebody can have a sex act performed on them that doesn't make you gay because the act was performed on you. In my understanding of it, if you're not attracted to somebody of the same sex and gender as you, then you are not gay. Period, point blank, the end. If you're not sexually turned on by them, you're not
to have a dick in your mouth or to put your dick in somebody else's mouth.
So here's the question.
You are sexually attracted to them.
Here's a scenario. If somebody were going to pay you $1 billion to suck dick, if a man was going to offer another man $1 billion to suck dick, does it make them gay to take the offer?
Some men wouldn't do that shit.
It's $1 billion though.
Kind of stupid.
It's $1 billion.
Men, would you suck a penis for $1 billion? Please let us know the answer to this question. Will you suck a penis for $1 billion?
Ooh. Kevin said gay is gay. But why? What is gay? Define it. What makes someone...
Kevin Lloyd said you were bi-curious. I agree. That's what it was. I was curious. So why can't men be bi-curious too? Why do they have to be labeled as just gay? I guess it's the extreme, because someone told this to me. When men are engaged in sexual activity, there's intercourse going on. It's kind of different than licking the kitty cat.
How?
And actually...
Between licking the clit and licking
it's
some
a
dick,
big penetration is involved. It's a huge difference.
somebody can stick their finger in your pussy.
It's a difference. It's a difference in licking the kitty cat and actually penetrating your penis into another man's ass.
Nobody said anything about sodomy, so no one.
I'm just saying as far as the context of someone being bi-curious. Why can't men just be bi-curious? I'm not talking about tanks.
But men can be bi-curious and never have anal sex.
No, but I'm just saying, what would we call a man who's actually engaged in anal sex? Will we still continue to say he's bi-curious?
Is the person performing, first off, are they giving the anal sex or are they receiving it?
It doesn't matter.
It does matter.
Even if they're giving it. But it just doesn't even matter.
No, it matters.
But even as far as...
It could be a woman pegging him. That doesn't necessarily
No,
make
I'm talking
gay.
about two men. We're talking about two men. You can't change the narrative. But that's also the difference between men and women when they engage in sexual activity. Again, women are, you're just licking. You're licking skin. Yeah, it's a sexual organ. But it's still skin. But men, you're actually getting penetrated. Or you're actually penetrating another man. So I don't know. It's kind of gay.
I don't think so. I think unless you are sexually attracted to someone of the same sex and gender.
Every man said nope. No, Tyrone said it's $1 billion though.
You better go to Nevada. You better go to Nevada where prostitution is legal. Negotiate your contract and the timeline. Get your $1 billion. Get your coins.
I think my husband would let me cheat on him for $1 billion.
Is it cheating though? It's just a transaction. It's just a business proposition. I'd do it. I already told my boyfriend
men are so territorial and it's different.
So closed off.
This is why men are more okay with their homeboys and even themselves all cheating and shit. But if a woman does it, anybody who does it is the scum of the earth. But if a woman does it, she's the sluttiest scum of the earth.
The sluttiest slut.
Why is that?
Because I have no idea. I really want some of these gentlemen to explain their definition of gay. Like Kevin Lloyd, can you define what you mean by gay? You can't just say gay is gay. You're not defining it.
When penetration is involved, it's gay to me. It's just gay. I don't know.
I mean, I just feel like unless you're sexually
attracted, there's nothing wrong with that.
But here's the other thing. So if a guy is having fellatio performed on him by another male, right? Mm-hmm. Your body's gonna respond regardless. Right? That's just biology.
I don't know. Some men would say no matter what, because the simple thought of another man being down there, their dick will absolutely not get hard. So I can't even say.
How do they know if they haven't done it? That's all I'm saying.
It's like thinking of your mom or your sister while you're having sex. It's just certain thoughts that make your dick automatically go limp. I don't even have a penis, and I know this is to be true.
But I mean, if somebody's slobbing and sucking and making all the gawk sounds, if they're doing all of that, and when you choking on, you got that gag reflex. You gotta release the tongue.
Sorry.
You gotta release the tongue.
Y'all love that sound. Why do y'all love that sound? Y'all love that sound for some reason. It's like an ego thing. Like she's choking on my dick. Y'all just love that gawk gawk sound. Yeah. Sometimes we fake that shit too.
We do. Sound effect is so easy to do.
But that's part of good giving.
Head
giving. And the sound effect.
The sound effect, because
eye contact.
It increases saliva production because you need more.
That's the key trick. You have to gawk ladies, because that gawk gets that extra spit in the deep back in the throat, that good spit back there. The gawk is important.
Yeah.
Eye contact.
Be careful.
Is important.
Don't puke on the dick. Don't throw up on the dick.
Eye contact, moaning is important. Like,
and you gotta come up and be like.
It's a mental thing for men too. They like to know that you're into it, that you enjoy doing this.
You gotta be a dirty little girl. Absolutely.
Yes, Daddy. Let's see. Kevin Lloyd said, if you as a man have or engage in a sexual act with another man, you are gay. Tyrone says, yes, I do love that gawk. Yeah, we know. We know what y'all like.
Yes, he does.
You want to feel like your penis is like so big, and the thought of you're like
it's
choking her and shit. It's an ego thing.
Like, that's part of your sex play, is playing to your partner's ego. You gotta do that.
All right.
You have to, otherwise I don't know what the hell you're doing.
Blacksville said, did y'all rub oil on each other before y'all started? No. I'm just glistening like I'm tripping because I only use Jergens lotion. I took a shower and I use Jergens lotions and my body is glowing. That's because I'm happy, I'm drinking my water, and I'm minding my business. Look what happens. You just glow.
Get that H2O
This
glow.
is 42. Like, yes.
Danielle says, that's why there's so many men on the DL. They believe they aren't gay because they are the giver. But if they're not attracted to them.
No, if you're fucking a man, you're attracted to a man. That shit is not rocket science.
Say that to sex workers.
You can't. If
Say
you're...
that to sex workers.
No, but that's different. That's a job. But if you're just fucking a man because you just want to get your dick off, you're attracted to a man. Like, whose dick is going to get hard for a man?
Maybe they're just attracted to the sensation and not the person delivering it.
I don't buy that, Mimi Hannon.
I don't know. I just came up with that in my head. I don't know.
I don't buy that. I mean, I get the sex worker thing because it is a job for them. But how I know how men are, a lot of men are like, my dick won't even get hard for that.
But my thing is, a lot of guys will say that shit, and I'd be like, how do you know? Like, a lot of people just say shit to say shit, all bark, no bite. And I'm like, how do you know? Like, how do you know a lot of whatever wouldn't work if somebody is slobbing on your dick in the best way possible, and you happen to finally look down and see it's your homie Joe? Like, I don't know. I mean, your body's gonna respond.
What's she gonna do, fellas? And I think that pisses men off even more if they actually enjoyed it. Like,
what if, and I'm gonna paint the scenario, and I know this is
let's
not
go. Care,
but what if you high and you're drunk, right? Lights is low, whatever, you in a club and whatever, and you end up in some corner and you start feeling some awesomeness down there because somebody's giving you the best head. Somebody's giving you the best head of your life, and then the club lights come up and you look down and you know it's your homie man just giving you the business. You was turned on by the sensation, not by who was doing it. Now what?
I'm not with it. I'm just saying, if you're getting penetrated or you enjoy penetrating a man, you're attracted to men, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. But like Danielle said, that's why we have so many down low men. Just admit it.
I just feel
admit it.
People need to go ahead and say that they want to be experimental. They're a little bit bi-curious or whatever floats your boat. Like, if you're turned on by both, do you? If you're only turned on by one and it happens to be the same, then do that.
So Tyrone said that's like saying, I'm a vegetarian, but I eat meat.
Oh,
exactly! Exactly!
That's your cheat day.
But Mimi's analogy is you're eating, somebody is feeding you meat, and you don't know it's meat. And you and enjoying this shit. You're like, this shit is so fucking good. And then somebody's like, bam, bitch, it's dick. It's meat.
Here you are thinking you eating a hamburger, and they're like, tofu, bitches. Just saying.
My synopsis, you're gay. You're gay. And it's nothing wrong with being gay. Be gay, be married.
I don't know who gets head in a random club. That's why it's called a hypothetical scenario.
I've seen it. I mean, I've given head in the movie theater.
I've seen, like, people, like, fucking in the club. Like, I've seen that shit happen. Like, don't get it twisted.
If I can give head in the movie theaters, you can give head in the club.
Shit. I can ride a dick in the movie theaters.
Have you?
Yes. a long time ago.
Okay, tell me how this happens.
That was a long time ago. I wore a skirt. That's how it happened.
So, okay, you were just like sitting on his lap. Were you facing him, or were you turned the?
I was facing the screen because I didn't want to miss the movie.
So was it a movie that nobody was there?
No.
Because it's like it's easy for me to put my head in someone's lap in a dark theater, especially if you sit in the rows all the way back where you have nobody behind you.
It was.
So like, how do you ride someone in a movie theater?
You sit on their lap. But this was like back in the day and just, you know, ages ago. I don't remember who it was. That's how long ago it was.
Wow. You don't remember people you fucked?
Not after a while. If they weren't that good, no. If it's not memorable dick, then you're not remembering it.
I couldn't even imagine fucking someone that you don't remember.
I don't remember their name. I remember what they look like. I don't remember their name.
It's okay. I'm not judging. Where my shade glasses at? I'm not judging, but it's okay.
I mean, it was what it was. Like, you know, I was in my 20s or some shit like that. But whatever. I'm not trying to flip no dudes. I am just giving a scenario. I'm having people think a little differently.
Are you guys sharing this video? Thank you. I was sharing in that one group, but they're just...
Yeah.
It's a whole different world over there.
Thank you, Danielle. Nobody should judge anyone.
Let me get some Cheetos. I just have to go upstairs. Mimi has to drive home, so...
I can't. So I bought her to you, baby. Alright, so...
I don't even remember what we were talking about.
We were talking about Tank and his business.
So the consensus is gay.
Y'all's consensus is gay. My view is, unless you are aware that you're physically attracted to somebody of the same sex and gender, it's not sex.
But that's not what the Tank scenario was.
Tank scenario
you don't suck dick 2 times. And
you're trying to figure out if you're really into it, and the second time you do it, you're like, yeah, I'm not really into it, so this doesn't make you gay. And I'm like, if you're not into it, then no.
I can see that. I can see that.
That was his whole point.
I can see it.
See? Geronimo said, I got head from my girl in the VIP and in the movie theaters. It's possible.
Head. I said that. I get head in the movie.
We're
talking about riding.
All I'm saying is wear a skirt.
Were you at the last row? Like, what row were you at?
At the top and the back.
Okay.
Top and the back.
I can see that if you were in the top and the back, but it's like...
It wasn't a lot of people in the theater. It wasn't a lot. It was like a random day in the middle of the week.
Really?
Where is the gay line? Wherever you draw it, babe. I don't know. I don't feel that way. I don't know.
But you've experimented, so that means you're gay.
No, it doesn't. It means I'm curious.
I'm curious?
Well, I was curious, but strictly dickly over here. So.
Penis is so much more enjoyable.
Penis.
And it's not even penis, it's just what's attached to the penis, the whole essence, the whole vibe of a black man. It's just, y'all is just everything. Like, the ones who act right and are respectful and protect their women, y'all are just everything. Nothing like a black man. Tell me about your amazing sex.
Girl. I was...
Can we cheers to amazing sex?
Cheers, amazing sex.
If you want to know how just to keep us happy in a good mood, have us up fixing your fucking lunch, butt naked in the kitchen, fixing crab cakes and
when
shit.
I don't need to be up.
Good sex.
Good sex.
And shut the fuck up sometimes. Like, women want y'all to shut the fuck up too. And y'all always talking about women. We want y'all to shut the fuck up sometimes too. Feed us and fuck us. Like, feed me, fuck me, and tell me I'm pretty. I'm like, that's it. That's all I need. I just want to go out to eat and come home. I don't need anything else. Just feed me. I'm good.
Just give me the coffee I like. Good.
That's cheap. All you take is coffee?
No, that's not true. But it helps. I love coffee.
Geronimo said reverse cowgirl in the movie theater all day. Like, I've done it outside. I've done it in a bush right in front of my mother-in-law's house. A tree. I've done it, a bush in my mother-in-law's house. A tree at the middle school. My mother's pantry during a family dinner. My sister's exercise room. Everybody's pulled over on the side of the highway.
Yeah, the car is a thing. Thank you, Jow Gaijin. I appreciate that you like my hair color. I've definitely had my playtime outside. Like, my experiences.
Do you enjoy that? Do you get off on that?
I do, like the notion of getting caught. Like, it's the whole voyeurism thing. Like, somebody might be watching you and you don't know, and they're being a dirty little person while you're being a dirty little person, and it's just all wonderful.
Like, you really have to be a miserable person to call the police on somebody that you see
do, which means either your pussy dried up or your dick don't work.
Let them people enjoy themselves and have fun. Like, you have to be, like, miserable to call the police on anybody that's having sex. That's why I can't believe that Clinton was trying. What's wrong?
No, I definitely embarrassed my boyfriend. Sorry, babe.
Because you said good sex?
Yes.
And Danielle Barry said, and don't complain that we want sex all the time, just be ready. I have thrown flat arms because I didn't get sex when I wanted.
I haven't gotten to that point where I'm, having temper tantrums.
I have a tantrum over sex. I absolutely do.
I talk shit when I want sex.
I get mean. And he says, I know what's wrong with you. And then I'm happy again. It's easy.
I do like aggressive sex.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
The shut the fuck up sex.
Like grab my neck and all that good. Oh, God.
Yes.
It's the best. Okay. All right. Moving on. Next topic.
What is the next topic?
Oh, man. Public proposals.
So, yeah, I saw this post of... We didn't talk about this last week?
No.
Okay. I saw this post of a young guy doing a prom proposal or homecoming proposal. He had a sign in front of the whole school. Will you go to prom with me? She shook her head, smiled, and said no.
I saw that. Yeah.
They gave her so much shit. Why did she embarrass him like that? Fuck that bitch. She should be shot. She's probably a whore and doesn't like good guys. She should have turned him down in private. Like, what the fuck? Since birth, women have been taught that we need to stroke and protect men's fragile fucking egos. If I don't want to go some fucking where with you, if you ask me in private, why do in public?
In public, so
why do I need to say yes in public? And you know what was more just disheartening was the fact that these were fucking women.
Yeah.
Saying
like, if she'd have said yes in public and then turned around and said no, then y'all would have been fussing at her, talking about how she led him on, and she's this despicable
It was
thing.
not a nip slip, Christopher. It was not. Go ahead.
Yeah, of course, we'd be watching for it. Yeah. But no, I think, one, whether it's a prom proposal or an actual, like, wedding proposal, marriage proposal, don't do it in public unless you're absolutely certain the person's going to say yes. Otherwise, you're going to sit there with hurt feelings.
And women are allowed to say no. Like, the fact that women are saying that we needed to protect his ego and this was going to destroy him and make him hate women and shit.
I mean, first off...
And this is the shit that you're teaching your sons.
Like, what
and when you have toxic men, believe me, a toxic-ass woman raised them.
Yeah. Women,
that's a conversation that a lot of people don't want to have, how women are responsible for these toxic-ass men that we have.
Agreed. It's a shame. Like, I feel really bad for any young girl who has to go through, like, the promposals and... somebody that you're not interested in comes up to you and it's like, hey, will you go to prom with me? And it's like, they're just as embarrassed as the boy they end up rejecting.
Right.
It's like, you didn't want that. You didn't want the attention. And now you got to have the scrutiny of somebody sitting up here telling you, oh, you were mean to him. It's like, she didn't do anything mean.
Christopher says, break my heart in private. Ask her in private.
And ask her fucking private.
Come on now. Shakira said, if a woman doesn't want you, she don't want you. Period.
Shit.
Period. it. Come on, and a lot of people felt that sometimes men do that to try to pressure these young girls.
I agree. I definitely.
But the fact that the amount of women that were calling her hoes and saying that they didn't even know this teenage girl, but because the scenario was, what would you tell your son if this happened to him? You know, these women aren't teaching their son, this is a part of life. A woman has a right to say no. You just move on and find someone who likes you. Everything was, I'll tell that bitch, fuck her. She's not good enough for you. You can do better. She's probably a hoe who doesn't like nice guys. And this is the shit that you feed into your motherfucking sons who grow up and treat women like shit and disrespect women, because this is the shit that you and the values that you've instilled into your son.
You can be a nice guy and still get rejected because that young woman or that young girl isn't interested in you. It's not a slight on whether or not you're a good person. It's not a slight on whether or not you're a good man or a nice person. It's literally just they're not into you like that.
Gregory Foreman says, are you aware that this is a feminizing tactic?
What's a feminizing tactic?
Yeah, can you please elaborate on that, Gregory Foreman?
What's a feminizing tactic?
But I think she handled it well. I mean, she was nice.
She did. She
was respectful.
Was as polite as she could be given the circumstance. She didn't make a big production. She just shook her head no, handed the poster board back to him, and walked away. What else could she do?
Tell me yes in public. What is with you guys and your egos?
Joe said a good one. Maybe someone will appreciate it and come see you after the girl says no. Yes, maybe somebody else will be like, I want to go with you. You know, you never know what might fall in your
But that's
lap.
what you teach your sons. You don't teach your sons that because a woman rejects you, you disrespect her.
Right.
Or she's worth being disrespected. It's a fucking fact of life. This is when you have men who are entitled and feel privileged to women who wind up raping women and exhibiting
those incels.
And exhibiting violence because they've been turned down. How many women... I don't even go to certain areas. I don't go to certain gas stations or liquor stores if I see a crowd of men out front. Because if I do go in, I have to bow my head. I can't make eye contact. If someone says something to me and I'm turning down their advances, we don't know if men are going to get violent. And that should absolutely happen.
Yeah.
And men don't really, I don't even want to say they're not aware of it because they know.
They know.
They know when you make women uncomfortable.
It's scary and it's unnerving. There's a reason women try so many different ways to seem like we are focused on something else and aren't prepared to talk to you and don't want to talk to you. We do everything by the book. We have the headphones in. Fake like we're talking on the phone.
I fake like I'm talking on the phone, right? I'm on my phone faking like I'm texting, walking by a man leaving from work, and he's trying to hit on me while I'm walking down the street, giving me his phone number. Yeah, put my phone number in your phone. And
no.
And then the fact that they do it all loud in public in front of everyone, and I have co-workers on the street, it's just...
Gregory said, boys learn to communicate with girls, and some of that knowledge that you wrote to have may hurt your feelings, but you stand up and you try again.
It builds character. It's a fact of life. It happens.
What's that got to do with feminizing? I still don't understand how it's feminizing.
Oh, that was the one who asked that question. Yeah, but women feel like they have to play nice because sometimes when men feel, some men, when they feel hurt or they've been turned down, they get violent. That blow to their ego, some men can't handle it.
And it's sad because they're not taught how to deal with rejection.
And it's because of women like their mothers who say fuck that bitch, all types of shit.
Because she hurt my baby's feelings. Bitch, so what? You hurt some dude's feelings.
He is king. You're dressing your fucking son up like he's your goddamn man because you don't have a man in there, because you can't keep a man because you're so fucking toxic. So you turn your damn child into your man. He's my king. He's my world. He's my everything.
He need to go ahead and just be your child. And that's it. Come on now. People are crazy. Ain't nobody got time for that.
What else? Is that it?
That might be.
No, it's only 10 o'clock. We haven't even talked for an hour yet.
He said, you are from a man, you get pity from a woman. You're still not really explaining this whole feminizing tactic. Can you please clarify, Gregory Foreman? I don't really understand what he's saying.
I'm really not going to drink anymore. Joe Guy said, we do know, in fact, I don't say much of anything just to keep women from feeling uncomfortable. Many opportunity to meet was lost because of this. This is true. Like, this is hard for a lot of men. You see her in a grocery store with her kids, but she's bad. Do you say something to her? You might not ever meet her again. Is it appropriate to say something in front of her kids? So I do feel for you, men. It's like, sometimes if you don't take the chance, you might not ever get it again. It might be lost. But I think it has to be, you have to be able to gauge it. Like, is this appropriate to do right now? You know? It's all about making a woman not feel so uncomfortable that she's creeped out by you. And I think a lot of men don't understand that balance. Because sometimes every opportunity isn't the right opportunity. If I'm at the grocery store with my kids, no, that's not an appropriate opportunity.
No. Shakira says, oh my God, yes, that's so annoying. And that's when the harassment comes into play. The following me and shit, it's scary. This man literally followed me down the street. Then I had to cuss him out because he wouldn't stop. Yeah, it's terrifying.
See, I've been at a gas station where a man looks at me, says, damn, purposely drops his damn change on the floor so he can look up my fucking dress.
Disgusting.
A man that I said, I'm married, I'm in a relationship, no thank you. Your man lets you go out by yourself. Your man ain't here right now. Like, shit like that. Like, this is fucking, that is harassment. That's not going to get you somebody's phone number. Definitely. That shit is creepy behavior. Yeah. Just like men who blurt out every sexual thought that comes to their mind on a post on social media. To me, that's a sign that you lack self-control.
Yeah, if you're the type that you're going to sit up there and comment on the obvious and be like, oh, she got some big titties, show me your titties. I'm not here to show my body to you. The fact that I wear what I want to wear is because I want to wear it. It's not for you. So just because you see something doesn't mean you need to speak on it. And if you speak on it, understand that the consequence may not be me turning and giving you a simpering smile. It might just be me telling you, well, you got little dick energy since it's the only thing you can seem to pay attention to.
And let's be real. If you respect women, you respect women regardless of what she wears, regardless of her profession. If you fucking respect women, you respect women. That's grown man shit.
Gregory says, the advice that you get from a man, you step up and you try again. If I should get from a woman, is she should never hurt your feelings.
We're going to hurt your feelings and you're going to need to fucking deal with it. That's
if your feelings get hurt, then your feelings get hurt. There are going to be them times where your feelings are just going to get hurt. So hopefully you find a way to cope with it and then move past it. But nobody needs to coddle your ego because you chose to do a public proposal. You chose to do a public announcement and it wasn't reciprocated.
And since birth, women have been taught to stroke the egos of men. Because again, sometimes you guys get violent when you get turned down. If you look at the stats as far as domestic violence and a huge killer of black women is at the hands of black men.
And it's also, and this is a slippery slope, but I'm gonna go there.
Go there, boo.
The women who stay with these abusive men they're staying with the idea of when it was good. They're holding on to that good.
I'm not even gonna say that because
some of them are. Some of them are.
We haven't been in that position, so you can't even speak to the psyche of a woman who's going through that.
But I'm speaking
and a lot
to
of it is
those
emotional.
women but those women who have come forward and spoken on it have given some of these reasons. They stay because they hold on to the idea of what it was like when it was good. Because they'll say, well, he's a good man. He's this, he's this, he's this. Or, they stay together because they're trying to keep the family together. Because typically they are. You're married, you got kids, or you're co-parenting, you've got children. Like, you're trying to hold your family unit together. And then, of course, there are those that are in the worst situation. They're just too scared to leave. And it's like, even if they try to leave, they're worried that he's going to come find them. He's going to hurt people they care about, hurt the kids, hurt other family members. Like, it's a trap of all sorts. So, it's bad enough black women aren't listened to by medical professionals. We're not listened to by a lot of people.
We die from childbirth at higher rates. We die from a lot of shit because they don't believe black women.
They don't. he said that's what he meant by feminizing tactic. I still don't get how it's feminizing. But alright.
We're going on.
I'm gonna go. But alright. Okay.
So Sunday. I'm hoping it still works out and gets it together. We're going to do a show Sunday, so it's going to be a little bit of Let's Talk Baltimore meets Cocktails After Dark. So I've been posting, not a lot, but I've made a couple of posts in regards to the issue that was going on with always MaxiPads feminine hygiene products changing their symbol and women being upset. And
can I honestly say I never noticed the symbol?
I've never noticed the symbol.
I didn't know
either.
it was even on there. I just knew like, hey,
so from
I need some pads.
So from either party, even the trans men, because it's not about trans women, it was about trans men,
which is women transitioning to men,
because they're still
bleeding until they have the surgery to remove bits and pieces.
So it was about trans men feeling as though they should be included, because not everyone who has their period are not women, they're men. What's that look for?
Because biology is biology. I'm sorry.
Science.
And
see, this is the thing. I want to be able to have open, honest conversations, open, honest dialogue. And we should be able to have that as adults, as long as it's done respectively, without people getting offended, without people getting upset. There are women who are taking a lot of issues with things like this because they feel as though it's a regression from women's rights, from all the things that we fought for, that we're taking steps back, that women are being left out of something. Some women feel as though they're being erased.
I don't feel like
I don't feel it's that extreme. But when you think of things as sports and you think of...
I don't...
There's like 2% of all the top CEOs in Fortune 500 companies are men. There's only 2% of women in these spaces. Yeah. So when we have someone from the trans community getting these opportunities, is that a win for the trans community, or is that a win for women? Do trans people just fight for their rights and it's not including women's rights, which we're still a marginalized group. We're still fighting for equality. And so we have to add something else to the list of what we're fighting for. The
hard part of it is this is all new territory, so no one's really sure how to navigate. That's one. Two is there's always going to be within these demographics extreme points of view, right?
On both sides.
Yeah, there's going to be those women who feel like women are being erased.
So do you think the MaxiPad was an extreme point of view?
I don't, because again, I didn't notice the symbol was taken off.
For the trans men who fought for this, is it that fucking big of a deal?
I just don't see that this is the hill to die on. If you're a trans man and you have yet to have the operation, so you're still getting a menstrual cycle, then you're going to go buy the product regardless of what it says. So what difference did it make?
Well, there's a lot of literature, because even where I work in public health, we do a lot of things in the medical field. So there's a lot of literature where basically you can't say the word woman. It's pregnant people. It's birthing people. You're able to say men. There's some literature I'm reading where it says we need to support men, and you don't say women. Like, men are still very present.
They're the primary.
They're still very present in the conversation. But when it comes to the world women, it's not allowed to be said. It's people, because women do give birth. Men do give birth.
No, they don't.
In the trans world, men do give birth.
Women give birth.
So we're not allowed to say the word women, and that's why a lot of women feel as though they're being erased.
I'm still going to say it. Now, if you're a trans person...
You're a cisgender.
I get
That's
that.
what you're called.
I get that. And I'm still learning all of these new categories and all of it. It's a lot. It's a lot to progress with.
And then y'all get mad, like, y'all add so much shit, we can't fucking keep up. And even with like David Chappelle's show, like, everybody was laughing, everybody was getting fucking made of, but it was like the tease.
So and I understand.
Everybody was like mad at the tease. Like, the tease get pissed. Like, women were getting talked about, black people, white people, everybody was getting talked about. if everybody wants to acclimate into society, you gotta, when it comes to comedy and shit, we all gotta take our shit.
Take one.
It's a joke. We all gotta take our shit. I think we take shit too seriously. So, in a way to foster productive dialogue, we are gonna have some people from the community join us on Sunday
to give some clarification.
Not even just clarification,
but we need that, and we also need
it's to give a different perspective and a different point of view. We often see things so one-sided through our lens and our perspective. So sometimes when we're able to reach out to other people and we're able to speak openly and candidly, without judgment, without fear, in a safe space. That's why we created the show. You know, we are never scared of the tough topics. We like to tackle things that are taboo.
Yep.
And so we're going to have some people on from the community. We're going to have trans women on. And we're also going to have somebody that is a founder of an organization that helps the community. So this should be good. I'm excited.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. I hope to learn a lot because it's definitely something I don't understand everything about. I'm still learning about it. It's worth learning. Regardless of whether you agree or disagree, that's not part of this, of whether you agree or disagree. It's about trying to gain understanding and learning something new. Right. It's not about whether you like it or dislike it, whether you agree or disagree.
Because we don't give a fuck if you like it or dislike it. Like,
I don't care if you
it's
agree
not
or
your business what someone else chooses to do.
And additionally, every time somebody puts up there, well, I don't agree with this lifestyle, I don't agree with it, it doesn't need your agreement.
Or your approval.
Needed your validation to decide to literally say, I identify with this group, I identify with this.
Is this okay? Is it okay that I do this?
They don't need your permission because they're going to do it regardless. So making the statements of, well, I don't agree with it, so blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, you're just coming up with an excuse to layer your ignorance. Right. Just take the opportunity to learn something new. Doesn't matter whether you like it or not, you're going to learn something that you didn't know.
And every opinion doesn't also mean that you're transphobic. Right. For someone to say that you don't agree with trans women being in sports with women, taking scholarships and very scarce opportunities that women barely have now, you're taking these from women. I don't see someone speaking up is being transphobic because, again, women are still a marginalized group and we're still fighting for our rights.
You've got two marginalized groups now butting heads, and how does that help? Now, with trans people in sports, it's really difficult to navigate because while they want to be able to identify with the gender that they're expressing, I'm looking and going, if you have all of the hormone and bone structure of a male, and you're now competing in the women's division.
It's not fucking fair.
It's not fair.
You're taking scholarships from
scholarships aside, when you look at the MMA fights, like,
I mean, you look at the fact that, again,
this person literally beat a woman into, like, brain damage.
And the cyclists, I mean, women, again, we have very few opportunities afforded to us in the professional world, in the sports world. So when we have to compete with another group for this,
I don't understand it. I don't. But I'm trying to understand it.
And that's why we're going to have the show.
I want to understand better. I want to learn something. But yeah, I have difficulty with trans people in different sports divisions. I don't understand how that really balances out fair.
Because we can't ignore science.
That, again, biology is biology. And the notion of saying, well, pregnant people, I get the want to be inclusive, but I'm sorry. Females of a species are the ones that give birth.
So do you think that trans people should have their own sports? A lot of them got upset because they felt as though they weren't included in Black Girls Rock.
Weren't there black
when
trans?
Women weren't included, we went out and got our own
black
shit.
Trans people?
There were.
Okay, so what's the problem?
Do you feel as though they need their own sports and they need their own?
I think for a while they're going to end up with that happening. While they want to be included, they're going to end up being excluded because it's, again, this unknown territory. No one's really certain yet. And as much as we want equity on playing fields across sport between men and women, we have to come to grips with there are just going to be certain things where you cannot have that equal footing because we are not biologically equal.
That's why men and women have separate sports.
Yep.
Because we recognize that. And it's funny because men don't have this dynamic with trans men. Because a lot of trans men, they go into a structure of having power already. Being a man, you already have a certain privilege to being that. You don't have trans men going over trying to play sports with men because they know usually physically, biologically, they can't dominate. Yeah. But then you have trans women coming over to women's sports and absolutely dominating this shit.
Right. I don't know. I mean,
we have to find some sort of common ground.
There's going to be some sort of epiphany moment or moments where somebody's going to come up with an idea that works for everyone involved. And I hope that happens sooner rather than later. I don't know what that looked like, though.
So you say something like separate but equal. That's the shit that white people used to tell black people. I'm not saying
separate but equal, but I think there's going to be a moment where that's going to happen.
What is wrong? I just want to know what is wrong with acknowledging the science and acknowledging facts that women and men are not
biologically
the same.
Different. Like, we're biologically different. It just is. I mean,
you have people who are getting banned for saying that men are not women.
I don't know why they're getting banned. I'm glad, President Obama made his statement, like, the whole cancel culture needs to stop.
It does.
It's not helpful. It's detrimental. Digging up somebody's statements from 10 years ago does nothing for anyone involved in any discussion. You're not a social justice warrior because you went digging through Twitter. You're just not.
A lot of people feel they are from social media. That's all you need to do is repost and talk shit, and you're a social warrior. Social justice warrior.
Nah, that's not how it works. Like, you got to be about something relevant, and you have to be able to back up your words with actions. Like, real people who are making change socially are not just saying stuff online, like, they're going out and putting in the work. Right? So just because you went and dug through Twitter to find out what somebody said 10, 15 years ago, to say, oh, well, you shouldn't have this job now because you said that back then. And it's like, for what?
Right.
Like, if that person changed for the better, then all you're doing is taking the moment that they had where they've improved and you're throwing it out the window because you don't know about the improvement they've made.
Right.
You don't need to know everything. I'm sorry, you just don't. Like, nobody should be fired from their job because of some shit they said 10 years ago. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, I think we've been talking for like an hour.
Oh, yeah, it's over an hour.
Our time is up.
It
was fun. I had fun.
fun.
I'm drunk, so it was a good night.
It was a good night.
I hope you guys have fun at home.
Yep. I'm going to have fun when I get home.
New dick. It's nothing like new penis. New
5 months now.
New relationships. It's still new.
Girl, whole nipple done popped out.
It's time to go. I can't post this video. These motherfuckers do not want to behave. They just don't behave.
Viewership just went up, though. Oh my god. Alright, well, we'll be trying to post this on YouTube. I don't know if that's going to happen now since the whole titty popped out, but thank you guys for watching.
I'm good. You can move the pillow now. I'm good. These motherfuckers don't cooperate.
Oh, thank you
act
guys.
like I ain't never seen fucking nipples before. Especially mine.
Alright, well, I'm going to stop the feed now. Y'all have a good night.